This is Vinyl Voices Radio. ESPN 97.5.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm John Denman. All right, welcome back to Vinyl Voices Radio here on ESPN 97.5. I'm John Denman. He is Justin Deas. We are hanging out with the Broken Spokes. And so, guys, we have another song.
We do.
What's the next song we're going to hear?
Let's hear All I Hear You Say.
All I Hear You Say. All right.
Everyone, they know the story. They've seen it time and time again. If only they had the heart to tell me what I know but choose not to see. Your wandering eyes, they never settle. Your arms reach for a different man each night. I wish I had the strength to listen, but your lips, they tell the sweetest lie. All I hear you say is I love you. It's music to my ears every time. All I hear you say is I love you. I believe it with my heart, but not my mind. You now have my full attention. I hang on every word you say. Leaning close so I can hear you, but only three little words are clear. All I hear you say is I love you. It's music to my ears every time. All I hear you say is I love you. I believe it with my heart, but not my mind. I believe it with my heart, but not my mind.
All right. Yeah, I know.
We're back. Yeah,
We're back again. Back again.
that was All I Hear You Say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about where that came from. I also, those vocals on that one. You got that little rise in there. And that's nice.
That's the hook.
100%. So, yeah, so like I said, Josh could tell you a little more. On this one, it kind of, similar to the last one, Josh had written kind of the melody, the chords behind it, and he had the first two lines of that chorus, and I was like, man, this is perfect. This is really good, and we needed to write more. And so I helped kind of flesh out some more lyrics, and it kind of came together very similarly to Where I Went Wrong. And we wrote this one, actually, this is the first one we'd written since our original album, the first new original, I think, that we worked up and written. And so we played this song a whole lot live beforehand, but I think it just he nailed it with everything that we needed. And honestly, this one kind of flowed out of me because everything was in place. And when we worked on the lyrics, it made it really easy.
So on this one, you guys worked on the lyrics together, or Josh, you already had?
I had basically that hook, the chorus part of it, a majority of the chorus, right? And then I was like, okay, my dopamine levels are sated, and I'm done with this. Like, we don't have a verse or anything like that. Like, call it a day, right? And that's how
I did my job.
Yeah, that's how, everybody else is like, okay, I guess we'll. And then Brent came back and they filled in. Most of that song, lyrically.
Well, it was funny because like sometimes we work well together in that aspect where sometimes it's hard for me to shotgun start on things, right? But if you give me a little bit of yarn, a little bit of rope, it's easy for me to go, okay, like I understand what the point is, right? I'm getting the melody, I'm in all that, and then I think sometimes things flow out of me a little bit easier. So there's times when especially with that one where he sent it, and I was like, dude,
I'm the opposite.
This is
like,
great.
I got this hook,
right?
and I'm done now.
Right. I'm like, no, this is great. We just need to tie this shoe up, right? I mean, we got 2 laces here. We just got to tie it up. That's kind of how that song came together.
Yeah, I'd kind of just pull Ellen in here on this.
Yeah.
These guys are talking about the song, being formed, and they're writing the song, but then everybody contributes to the song.
100%.
Kevin was here. Just that kind of like the sound that he brings to every track, and then of course you on the fiddle. So,
To be honest, it wouldn't be anything without the fiddle. So if we're putting weight measures on things, then yes, continue on.
Well, yeah, it's like
I love that.
I mean, that's part of the song process too, where you're bringing what you bring into it. So speak to that a little bit, how you and, Kevin too, he's not here, but, that sound is so prominent in these songs that, just where that all fits in with these songs.
The way that the guys structured the song, the real throwback sound, honestly made it easy. And Kevin and I really have a good chemistry of kind of playing off of each other, and in the process of coming up with lines and kind of live coming up with stuff. I think we're just really focusing on the classic country sound and, what would fit best in this song. Yeah. So
we are so lucky and fortunate to have like Ellen, people like Kevin,
Gus.
the guys.
Right.
I mean,
Gus,
everybody that's in the band, like it contributes. People know their role, and like we get in, and it's like, okay, we have this kernel. Like I like this hook or whatever, and Brent's like, okay, well I like come up with some of this, finish up the lyrics, get the melody done, all this stuff, and then everybody else in the band, it just kind of comes together in a sense without it being like work of like, okay, we're gonna really think this out. Like I want this kind of deal at the front. Everybody's like, okay, I know where this is going, and like fill in the blanks a little bit, and it makes it so much easier and so much more cohesive. I mean, you hear like singer-songwriters stuff that have very popular songs already, and they don't sing it. They've written it for somebody else, like Dean Dillon or whatever. You hear him singing, you're like, oh, this is like not that great. Like you hear them, the melody and the lyrics are there and everything, and it's really nice. But when you hear like the actual version, the studio version, having the people put those like quintessential parts in there, it's huge. And we're not a big enough band to like call it the Nashville A team or whatever, or have enough money to do that. So we're really lucky to have.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't do it even if we could afford it, because again, like he said, man, everybody in this band, we have been a live band. That's when we first started. We want to play live. We want to be a live band. We want to be as good live. That is the core. Everything else that we're doing is all supportive, more gigs, more opportunities. We like to play live. And so we've been fortunate with over years, right, putting different people in the band, bringing people in. When we've gotten this core in, we knew, hey, man, everybody in their spot is really good. And then everybody understood exactly what their role was. And they knew, don't get out of your lane, just stay in your lane. If we do all this together, the sum of this is going to be really good. And it makes it super easy, man. It really makes it super easy.
Speaking to that, I think an element of our sound that may not actually be noticed, but that's a good thing. It means that it's working well, is the drumming.
Right.
So Gus Alvarado is our drummer.
Yeah.
And it is extremely rare to find someone who is willing to just shuffle all night long.
I don't understand how nearly impossible it is.
Do you at least give him a drum solo at one point in the
He
show?
doesn't want it.
Yeah.
We beat that out of it.
He's like, did you?
Early on, when we were like putting this thing together and we were just trying to play gigs, I mean, we went through a whole slew of everybody, right? Like drummers and all kinds of stuff. And this is years ago, you know, but yeah, it was so hard to find like, okay, man, just sit there and play this beat for, you know, not just sit here and play this beat, but like, you know, get in the pocket, stay in the pocket, you know, and that's what you do. That's like, that's the sound we're doing, right?
If you throw a more modern sounding drummer into the mix, it's just not. It's not the
It
classic
loses
country sound.
100%.
Yeah, it's so wild though that, I mean, because I've been around bands,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, and you know, some bands they do have like, you know, divas in them, or you know, like I have to get my creative flow on or whatever, you know, and so and it's not that y'all don't do that, but to actually be all on the same page, like, you know, to actually
Everybody has their part and everybody has to cohesively do it together. You know, you have solos, you have all those things or whatever, but you know, we're talking about Willie Nelson. You know, I remember seeing Willie Nelson years ago when Paul English was still alive and still playing for him. And they get up there and, I mean, he's playing just a snare, a stick, and a brush. There's no like rototoms and 17 cymbals or anything like that. Like he's up there, and the amount of like feeling and everything that he got out of that, and he just got in the pocket and he stayed there for 2 minutes and 40 seconds or whatever the whole time. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so great. It's hard to do, and it's hard to find people that are willing to do that. And
Or understand how to do it.
right. It's playing for the music. It's
And have
not
pride in doing that sort of
Yeah.
playing.
that's so weird because I didn't think that I would reference Krungbin, you know,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
chat with the Broken Spokes, but they're that same type of band where the three of them just know this is what I do, this is what you do, and then
Right.
and even down to the drummer, just like, you know.
Oh, dude, let's talk about a pocket player.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, he gets there and he's like, this is what I'm doing, and this is playing for the song. It's not like, hey, I'm here playing to play a drum
Right,
solo
for me,
you know,
right.
Yeah.
And
Serving
when
the
there's a
song.
time, there is a
Right.
time, right?
And
Yeah.
that's what makes, you know, you guys successful. I mean, everybody's committed to it, and it's like shining, you know, it's really coming
Thank
through.
you, man.
Yeah.
We've it's not by accident, so to speak, right? I think that thing, it's worked itself out naturally over time, but I think everybody has a ton of respect for the other people, and there's never been, I hope there's never been, I'm going to say this, a time. It's like, well, there's times when I'm the diva and I need to like go to the, you know, we need to stop because I want to go to the bathroom. We've tried to be a nameless thing. Like I said, I've always, and I believe this, I've thought that, you know, without all of them, I wouldn't be as good as, right? I serve a purpose, right? And I serve a role in the band, and it's important, but it's not all of it, right? And music today has kind of gone to that, where the singer is just, everybody else is get lost. And I'm like, you see a lot of those bands with the singer that's like, I'm the only important piece. And when you see them live, you're not super impressed, right?
Right.
Well, then they also, you know, go through so many different people in their band.
Right. Well, that's the.
I was about to say, yeah, like those guys, they have all these hired guns, and these guys are phenomenal players and everything like that. But I mean, when they can kind of play to the song, but I think knowing, like us playing together for a while and knowing the role, like I said, and like, you know, less is more type of deal sometimes.
Yeah.
It's helped.
Yeah.
It really has.
It's a really cool blueprint for, like, you know, the steps that y'all are taking, just that going back to learning the original recipe, and then, you know, everybody just bringing those pieces into the kitchen to, like, you know, concoct this thing. You know, it's
And like you said, I think everybody entered the kitchen with the same understanding of like exactly what we were
recipe.
going to make. Right.
Right.
Well, maybe not the recipe, but the outcome, right? Hey, we're making chicken fried steak here.
Yeah.
So like everybody, you know, came in ready to, you know, bring
But you don't
their
see the
piece.
line guy over there, you know, like in the fry area, like messing with that stuff or whatever. Like, yeah.
yeah. Did we get enough food references?
I was like, I know you're
We're going to have to take a break and eat some more Frank's Pizza. I know.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this segment up. And actually, I have another slice of Frank's Pizza. This is Vinyl Voices Radio. We'll be right back.
This is Vinyl Voices, brought to you by Adley Law Firm, Houston's personal injury attorneys for 30 years.